uglies. Welcome to the underworld.
We have just watched the BOULET Brothers Dragula Titans latest episode where we got not one, but two banished competitors. They're both joining us here today, one at a time. We are summoning from the underworld, Astrud Aurelia. Can you hear us, Astrud? Birthed and summoned from the fiery underworld.
Right out of the gate, baby.
Right.
I'm ready.
So it's lovely to see you. Upset that we're here to talk about an elimination, but happy to see you still.
Thanks. Me too. I feel the same way.
Yeah, same, big same. This episode's challenge was horror icons, and you went with Predator and completed Astrud's Alien versus Predator universe. So I love a good bookend. So I appreciate that you got to give us that.
Yeah. And I will say it was kind of a funny choice because I am actually not the biggest fan of Predator.
Okay.
I love the Xenomorph. I love the Alien so much. I literally just did it for that joke. That's the only reason why I did the character.
So the bookend, committing to the bit.
Right, I committed to the bit, and maybe that was a bit of a mistake. But I will say the only other character that I really would have wanted to do for that challenge was the creature from the Black Lagoon. But that was kind of, I couldn't do it again because I kind of did that for the first episode.
What was your favorite challenge of the season? And then what was the look that you were most proud of? And those can be two different answers. I don't know if they would necessarily be the same for you.
They're not, actually, now that I think about it. My favorite challenge of the season was the wrestling challenge. I thought it was so much fun. Like, I remember, walking away from that challenge just thinking that this needs to be a whole Dragula spinoff series on its own. That's just like the ugly ladies of wrestling, and we all return as our character, and we are the same character every time, and it just is just chaos every single episode. Like, it was so much fun. I really love anything where I get to be super physical and involved. And it was just such, the energy was just so wonderful, and we were all so excited about it. I think my favorite look though that I did was my sci-fi look, the sort of cosmic horror one with all the eyeballs. I just thought the silhouette was really great, and it was the only moment, like not the only moment, but it was the main moment that I saw when the lights came up, watching myself on TV, and I actually had the reaction of going, "Oh my fucking god, I did that! That's me! I did that! That's crazy!" So that's the one I'm most proud of for sure.
What was the most difficult fright feat for you?
I actually struggled with the brain eating, not because it was like the most disgusting thing I'd ever put in my mouth. Trust me, it's probably pretty far down on that list, actually.
What are you getting up to on the weekends?
I'll let your imagination run wild with that one. But I actually like the racing aspect of it, the fact that we were trying to beat each other to finish first. That's what was so hard about it, because I found that I was trying to swallow as best I could, but my body was just rejecting the food.
Yeah.
Like, it was just rejecting the brain. It just would not let me keep it down. I don't know how Eva did it. I don't know how she managed to eat all of it so fast. It was honestly really, really, really impressive. So that's the one I struggled with the most.
Speaking of judgment, how did you feel during the lie detector fright feat?
God, still on the topic of fright feats, I will say that one was the hardest one for me.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just like pulled some heavy stuff out of me, and I'm a very truthful, like kind of open book person, and I'm not gonna lie, up to that point in the competition, I was struggling and trying my absolute best to just like hold it together.
There were a lot of talk of bodysuits.
And there sure were. Let's talk about bodysuits.
Tell us about bodysuits.
Well, let me get started.
I mean, like, in retrospective, is that something that you'd be like, okay, maybe I would use less bodysuits after, like, in hindsight, looking at the critiques and seeing like what the commentary was on that? Or are you like, no, fuck it, I would use more bodysuits?
Oh, fuck no. I'm gonna wear a bodysuit every single time.
Oops, all bodysuits. Nothing but bodysuits.
Whoops, sorry. No, I mean, it goes, the bodysuit thing, the goal isn't to wear a bodysuit. I'm not wearing a bodysuit because that's like the fashion moment that I'm trying to show. I do a lot of creature looks where I'm I'm trying to change my skin texture and trying to, you know, create a layer underneath everything. And that's why I wear bodysuits a lot of the time. And the reality is, when I was planning for this season, I wanted to make sure that all of my looks were going to be things that were reliable, consistent, and easy to get into. I have a lot of mental health, you know, struggles, and I get really, really anxious and stressed out really quickly. So that was something that I was thinking about. I'm not going to plan to do a look where I have to do a full body prosthetic application and I have to paint my entire body a different color and do skin texture work, even though I could do those things. It's a really bad idea as far as like thinking about the long game.
This season, there was also a little bit of drama with Hoso, Abora. Did that affect you at all? Do you think, or were you able to kind of like separate?
I mean, yeah, it affected me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard, and I there was a one point in the show where I mentioned this, but like our relationships go back years. So I feel like it might be kind of confusing for the audience to understand where we're at and sort of like the subtleties and the nuance of what's happening, because I've known Abora for years. Like this is not the first time we have had this, if you want to call it love triangle problems. Abora has been mad at me in the past before the show about my relationship with Hoso. And if I can be honest, the thing I was dreading the most was showing up to the show and seeing that all three of us were there.
So you already felt that would be an uncomfortable situation to walk into.
I knew it was going to be handled horribly. And I was right.
Okay.
And I was trying my absolute best to pull out of it and just not be involved. And you know, the thing that like Abora was upset about, you know, I don't know how much people even really want to hear about this anymore, but it was like my inability to not show my affection towards this person who I care a lot about. Hoso lives in another country. I haven't seen them in like 9 months, and we have had a romantic relationship for a long time, you know, because it's not like we're going home after the show and fucking all night. You know, like that's not happening. So like when people see these moments where like I'm laying next to her on the couch, that's the first time I've gotten to lay next to somebody who I love in 9 months.
What do we have anything on the horizon to look forward to from you coming up?
Yeah, it's been like slower. It's always slower than I hoped it would be and continue to hope it will be, but I am releasing music soon.
Okay.
So I have 2 songs that are finished and I plan on releasing them shortly after the season is over.
Drop your socials. Give us your socials where
yeah. So you can find me on social media at Astrud Aurelia, Astrud Aurelia. So easy to spell on Instagram. And if you really want the real tea, you can follow me on Twitter. Word of warning, Twitter is where I go to be messy and not give a fuck about people's opinions. So expect to see lizard content, expect to see me shit posting a lot. But you can follow me at Astrud Queen on Twitter if you really want to.
Astrud, you are so lovely, and I'm glad that we had a chance to chat, and I'm so glad that we got to see like your looks just evolve and just kind of like just put it all out there this season, because like you said, you went home too fucking early. So I'm glad that you came back to show like, no, this is what you're made of and this is what you can do. And I think we were all very much treated to that. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. You have been such a joy and a pleasure, and I'm so appreciative and thankful. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. And hopefully I will see you soon. And I'm going to be rocking out to your music when it drops, as we all are.
Baby.
Yeah.